Good day, everyone. I am Eliza Maisy Fernando.
I am Erlis Piastuto.
We are the Group 5. We will be reporting about Chapters 4, 1872 to 1875, and Chapter 5, 2 Years in College.
72 to 1875, or Rizal's Scholastic Triumph at Ateneo de Manila. So, when Rizal enters the Ateneo, on June 10, 1872, Jose Rizal went to Manila accompanied by Pasiano. Jose Rizal took the entrance exam at the College of San Juan de Letran and passed. They returned in Calamba for a few days to attend the town fiesta. His father, who first wished him to study at Letran, changed his mind and decided to send him in Ateneo instead. Upon return to Manila, Jose Rizal, accompanied by Pasiano, matriculated at the Ateneo Municipal. Father Magin Fernando, which is the college registrar, refused to admit him for two reasons. One, he is late for registration, and two, he was sickly undersized at his age because he was only 11 years old at that time, and he was reluctantly admitted at the Ateneo upon the intercession of Manuel Ceres Burgos. He was the first of his family to adopt the surname Rizal because the family name Mercado becomes suspicious of Spanish authorities. Ateneo during his time was located in Intramuros within the walls of Manila. He first boarded in a house outside Intramuros, 25 minutes walk from college. The boarding house was owned by a spinster named Titay, who owned the Rizal family the amount of 300. So, Jesuit system of education. System of education given by the Jesuit at the Ateneo is advanced from other colleges because it is rigid discipline, religious instruction, has physical features, fine arts, and scientific studies is promoted. Students heard Mass in the morning, class is opened and closed with prayers. Students are divided into two groups, and students fought for position. Roman Empire consisting of the internos or the borders, and the second one is the Carthaginians Empire consisting of the externos, which is the non-borders. Each of these empire has its rank. Best student, which is the emperor. The second best is the tribune. The third best is the decurion. The fourth best, centurion, and the fifth best is the standard bearer. Student could challenge any officer in his empire. His opponent could lose his position if he committed 3 mistakes. Two groups were perpetual warfare for supremacy. They had distinctive banners, red for the Roman and blue for the Carthaginians. During Rizal's time, students wear uniform. The coat material was called rayadillo. So, Rizal's first year in Ateneo, 1872 to 1873, during his first day, he heard Mass at the college chapel and prayed for guidance and success. He went to class where he saw a great number of Spaniards, mestizos, and Filipino boys. Rizal's first professor in Ateneo was Father Jose Beck. He described him as tall man, thin, with a body bent forward, with hasty pace, an ascetic, severe and inspired physiognomy, sunken, small eyes, sharp Grecian nose, fine lips, forming an arc whose end turned toward his parents. He was an externo, hence he was assigned under the Carthaginians, occupying the end of the line. As if to prove to his Spanish and mestizos classmates the intellectual capacity of an Indio. In a month's time, however, he was at the head as the class emperor. To improve his Spanish, he took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during the non-recess and paid 3 pesos for that. In the second half of the year in Ateneo, he placed second at the end of the year, although all his grades were still marked excellent. So, Rizal's summer vacation, 1873. During his vacation, Rizal returned to Calamba but did not enjoy his vacation because his mother was in prison. To cheer him up, her sister Neneng, or Saturnina, brought him to Tanawan with her. He told her his brilliant grades in the Ateneo and tearfully embraced each other. And when the vacation ended, Jose Rizal went back to Manila. This time, he boarded inside Intramuros at number 6 Magallanes Street. His landlady was an old widow named Doña Pepay. So Rizal's second year in Ateneo, 1873 to 1874. To regain his lost class leadership, he studied harder. Once more, he became emperor. Some of his classmates were new. Some of them were 3 boys from Binyan who had been his classmates in the school of Maestro Justiniano. At the end of the school year, Rizal received excellent grades and gold medal. With scholastic honor, he returned to Calamba in March 1874 for another summer vacation. So the prophecy of her mother's release. Rizal lost no time in going to Santa Cruz to visit his mother in the provincial jail. He gladdened Doña Teodora with his scholastic triumph at the Ateneo and tells some tales about his professors and fellow students. Doña Teodora told her favorite son about her dream the previous night. Rizal, interpreting such dream, said that she would be released from prison in 3 months' time. Rizal's prophecy became true. Barely 3 months, Doña Teodora was set free. Doña Teodora went back in Calamba, was more proud of her son Jose Rizal, was like the youthful Joseph in the Bible. So, Rizal's interest in reading. During summer vacation, in the year 1874 in Calamba, Rizal had interest in reading romantic novel. The first favorite novel of Rizal was The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. He read numerous other romantic novels with deep interest, enriching his vacant mind. He asked his father to buy him a complete set of Historia Universal of Cesar Cantus, which he conscientiously read, enabling him to win more prizes in Ateneo. Later, he read Travels in the Philippines by Dr. Fyodor Jagor, a German scientist. What impressed him in this book were Jagor's keen observation of the effects of Spanish colonization and his prophecy that someday Spain would lose the Philippines and America would come to succeed as a colonizer. Rizal's third year in Ateneo, 1874 to 1875. Rizal returned to Ateneo for his junior year. After the opening of classes, her mother arrived and joyously told him that she was released. Rizal did not make an excellent showing in his studies as in the previous year. His grade remained excellent in all subjects, but he only won 1 medal in Latin. He failed to win the medal in Spanish because he is not that fluent to speak Spanish that time. At the end of the school year, March 1875, he returned in Calamba for summer vacation. He was not impressed by his scholastic work. He said, "I returned dissatisfied to my hometown."
Soon to become 18 years old and disillusioned. During this time, Jose Rizal was sorrowful because of how time flies so fast that he can distinguish whether he should be happy or sad, especially during vacation because his sister got married and he can't withstand this feeling. June 16, 1875 was his first day in college. He had his alcove located in the corner of the dormitory, looking out to the sea and the embankment. Jose Rizal was welcomed well by his classmates. He stated that his room space is about 2 square varas that has an iron bedstead, a small table and a basin, a chair and cloth racks. He placed his little money under his pillow. In spite of his 13 years to 14, he was still very small, and as it is known that the new students, especially the small ones, are received by the big ones with jokes. It was stated that he was teased for his size, but as the time goes by, he was then respected and didn't tease him maliciously. His companions were good, simple, pious, just, and amiable. There was no one among them who would want to control the rest by force, for power is achieved through skill. He is the one of some of his classmates whom he can ease from his memory. Francisco de Paula Sanchez, he is the professor of Jose Rizal, whom was a model of uprightness, earnestness, and love of the advancement of his pupils. And so much was his zeal that Jose Rizal, who scarcely spoke very ordinary Spanish, at the end of a short time, succeeded already to write it moderately well. With his aid, Jose Rizal studied mathematics, rhetoric, and Greek with some advantage. There were times he had fever and was the cause why he was left behind. Although he stated that over the years he can say that he is better than anybody else students, that's why he won a medal worthy of all his and his father's sacrifices. Jose Rizal was so delighted to spend his vacation at his hometown. He was accompanied by his father, he was idolized by his father, he retained to college after 3 months and continued his study. Jose Rizal had other professors called Father Villaclara and Minovas, the first one of whom liked Jose Rizal very much and whom he was somewhat ungrateful. Although Jose Rizal was studying philosophy, physics, chemistry, and natural history, and in spite of the fact that Father Villaclara had told Jose Rizal to give up the society of the Muses and give them a last goodbye, which made Jose Rizal cry. In his leisure hours, he continued speaking and cultivating the beautiful language of Olympus under the direction of Father Sanchez. Jose Rizal described the subject that he had taken the way how he experienced and indulged the knowledge. The term ended and he successfully completed and earned another 5 medals. He was given a degree of Bachelor of Arts and at the age of 15 years old. That is something to be proud of. Although he was feeling sad because he would leave the school and his alcove. Rizal, at the age of scarcely 16 years, or rather when he left the Ateneo with the degree of Bachelor of Arts in his pocket, was studious, very studious, reflective, modest, of great moral honesty, and besides having passed with a grade of excellent in all subjects and won through competition almost all the prizes, had shown signs of being a poet and a designer. That's all. Thank you.